Hello everybody, it's Big Al with some more content for Lord of the Rings Rise to War. So I am in the Forgotten account now. My season's coming to an end. As you can see, the timer has 6 days left. We have won the server. It is that glorious time to look at gear so that you can use your seasonal hammers. So I have taken a quick peek into this account and see what I can do. So, at the end of every season, you generally want to look at your main commanders and how you can improve them. So, we're going to go into the commander list. And for my main army, I am using Boromir, Gandalf the Grey. Let me show you Boromir, Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn, and Dwalin. So, first and foremost, it's important to try to always make your main army better. So I took a look and I'll show you a couple of new items that I've gotten. And there's really nothing I can do to make Aragorn better. I do have a matching set with Perseverance and for the Blazing Tongue and the Scale Mail. You know, I could always hammer those down and maybe make a different set effect, but that really doesn't increase anything. I don't have the more gold items to strengthen him either. Now with Boromir, okay, I have the matching sets. One thing I need to do is I would like to match that fourth piece to Fortitude. So I'll take a look in here. I don't have any Fortitude Horseman's Helms. I don't have any Fortitude Horseman's Helms in my inventory. I do have this Horseman's Helm. Let's look inside. Nope. No Fortitude there. So I could possibly go into the drums and look to see if I can make a set there. I would be making an evasive set. Nope, let me see what's inside the other drum, if there's an evasive in there. No, there isn't. So, that was quick and easy, and I can't approve him. I could check the laying. Nope, nothing in there. And the Elf Hawbuck isn't refined or anything, so I can't change that set effect. So, I could go to Gandalf, and Gandalf the Grey, you're always looking for ways to get more focus out of him. Okay, I have some pieces. I obviously don't have set effects because I don't have the right pieces for them. Dwalin is a damage dealer, always looking to deal more damage. So I have found ways to increase both of them. So I am going to go into my items bag, and I'm going to show you a couple of the new things that I got this season. These gold items I got are new. So this is perfect for Gandalf. So I'm going to be putting that onto Gandalf. And then I'm going to be looking around at different set effects, different items to improve his other gear. And then Dwalin, as you can see, he has 2 defensive sets. I'm going to see if maybe I can make one of them offensive and try to get a little bit more damage out of them. And the reason being is I have these 7 elven hammers up here, and if you notice there is a blue icon in the top right corner. That means it is seasonal. Anything with that blue icon disappears out of your inventory at the end of the season. So you have to use them before you go to bag end. Usually I wait to do everything until the last day. When the countdown ends, it usually says you have 24 or 48 hours until you go into bag end, and that's usually when I do everything. But I have been quite busy lately helping people with their gear and their formation and their armies. So I took today off. I got caught up, and I told everybody else I will do their gear, start working on their gears tomorrow. So this is one of the things I wanted to do for myself for the game while I had it. As you can see, I also have these 14 hammers down here as well that are permanent, so I'm not worried about hammers. Okay, so first, let's go into Gandalf. So one of the things I know I want to do is I want to put this Numenorian protection of Numenor on there. It has more focus than the hunter's skin. You know, it's almost double. It gives me more hit points too. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen it with this golden skin, because the golden skin by itself is not something I am going to use. Okay, so I have already gained, what is that? 12 focus. Okay, perfect. So before I had a 2-piece set of evasive maneuvers with the bone mask and the hunter skin. That is no more. So the Dawn I have here is because it gives me a lot of command, which I like on my Gandalfs. It also gives me a little bit of focus and unit defense. I mean, I could go with something like a crossbow. I could go with like a carver if I was just looking for the most focus. But I have the Numenor, which is going to make up for some of that. So the weakest spot probably here is this gives 6 focus. This gives 12. Okay. So the weakest spot here is this one. So one of the things I was looking at was putting a firework on as the accessory. At the base, it has less command and less focus, but I would be able to upgrade it some, and it might not be max, but it'd be close. So I'll probably get 5 focus out of that, which is about the same. And then I will be refining it as well, so I should get up to 60 command there. It gives a little bit of unit attack, so it'll have a little bit more unit attack than the Night Star has. It gives me the 2-piece healing, and I think it gets me the same amount of command, if not a little bit more. So this is something I'm trying out. So what would I need to do to make this work? As you can see, I don't have any fireworks in here, so I would go through all of my gear and look what has them in it. As you can see, I have it inside this bone talisman. And I have 4 of them, so that's 3 refined, because the first refined is 1, the second refined is 2, and then the third refined would be the 2 fireworks. So I could do that. Well, one of the things I wanted to do with Dwalin as well was get a little bit more damage out of him. Well, don't necessarily like this evasive on him, because generally I am going to be running Swan Knights on Boromir. So the first 3 rounds, most of the time, he's going to be not taking that damage, as much damage. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And one of the things I was going to do is I have a Might Scale Mail, so that would work. Now let's see if I have a Might Bone Talisman. I do. Now that would give me an extra 5% physical damage dealt. So that's going to help his damage a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. So no problem there. So we are going to go into Dwalin. I am going to unequip this because I am getting the fireworks out. So you unequip it. You go into the seasonal hammer, and let's break it down. And voila, all this is back in my inventory. Now I'm going to do one step further. Because I already know I am going to change the Dwalin Scale Mail, I'm going to go ahead and use the Elven Hammer on this as well, just so that I don't lose the pieces and just get worn material if I were to just straight out use it to strengthen. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I have these 7 hammers. Okay, I have an abundance of hammers. I will not use all these hammers, all the seasonal hammers. That's just guaranteed. And when you get up bigger in levels, you generally want to save the hammers for your gold equipment. Okay, I can hammer this too just because. So, now we're going to go back into commanders. Let me go ahead and put the Might Scale Mail and the Might Bone Talisman onto Dwalin, so I know it's there. Here I am going to unequip this, and I am going to put a Might. Oh, that's not it. I am going to put the Upkeep Firework on him. So I'm going to start with Refines, because at this stage in the game, hit points are not as important as when you are playing a lot of whales and the bigger servers. But with this account, this doesn't fight against a lot of whales. So when you're refining things, you want to worry about commander damage and command more so than the hit points at this stage where I'm at. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 56 command, which is 4 command less than the, where is it? Let me go. Right there. Okay, so now I need to strengthen it. I am not going to strengthen it that much because I also have the other Bone Talisman to strengthen as well. I will always use the Shield of the White Hand to strengthen gear. I do not like that item. I think it is a waste of an item. And let me see here. I don't believe I'm using any Athelian ropes on anybody, so I'm going to use that as well. And I am going to do one more. And then everything else is going to go into Dwalin. Okay, so let's take a look in comparison. So, I'm getting 2 less focus, 4 less command, but I am getting 5 extra unit attack. I'm also getting the upkeep bonus. Okay, which really is not much. Trust me, upkeep is really not worth trying to plan for. But I also have other things in mind, because with this Night Star, I can use it. There's 3 items in there, and I'm going to hammer it because I don't want to use that heart. I don't want to lose the heart, because later on, if I can get more harps, I will use that on my tank. So I will have 2 Night Stars. So I might, and then I have this box of knowledge that really does not fit what I do. I will use that to strengthen the Palantir one more notch. So it's give and take on what actually is going to be working. Yes, I'm losing a couple focus there, but I gain more focus with the Numenera armor. Now let's go to Dwalin. So he has low hit points, but I am only going to refine these one time. When you're refining, you want to look for the set effects that do not fit the item. Okay, this item has commander attack. It has nothing to do with focus. You are not going to put this on a focus commander. So Lord of Arcane automatically gets used to refine. So, and then I take the Bone Talisman. I'm going to check the refines. I am going to do the same thing. Siege Ladder. Purple Siege Ladder, I believe, should always be used to refine. Okay. Now, as I was saying, hit points are not as important. So I'm going to be looking to strengthen first. So let me go into the strengthening. I already used all the Athelians. Let me see what else. I'm using Drums of Moria, and I got Fiddles on people. So that means I'm not using the worn out smoking pipes. So I'm going to go ahead and use those to strengthen. Okay, let's see what else. The fiddles. And I have some on people that I can use as well. I can use the fiddles. Okay. So with the fiddles, the stats, see, focus and some unit defense and command. You're not going to use these on a damage dealer, so I don't need the offensive sets. So, bye-bye fiddles. Okay, now let's go to the scale mail. Let's see what we got. Perfect, I have some more equipment, so I'm going to use those first. Another armor that I will always use to strengthen, I think is the worst armor in the game when it comes to the purple, is the quilted armors. You will never see me have them in stock because as soon as I get them, I use them to strengthen. So let's see here. I have a bunch of scout mails. I got a couple scale mails left. The Superior Hawbuck is the purple that you would use on a tank or support. I have the Hunter skin and I have the Goblin armors. Okay, I will use the Goblin armors as well as the quilted armors because I don't generally use them. And as you can see, is for the purple, I have the Hawbuck and the scale mails. So, Hunter skin is very useful, and I only have a couple of those. So, oh, and I got more up here. The Scout's mails are good, as well as the scale mails for damage dealers. As you can see, it gives focus. It also gives some it gives commander attack, it gives some focus, and it also gives initiative. Initiative can be a good thing. Scale mail gives the most commander attack. So those are two things to think about. So let me go back here. I'm going to use these hunter skins. I'm going to use the one with siege. I'm going to use the war cry because I'm not a fan of war cry either. Okay. So there we go with those. So Gandalf gained some focus and gained the upkeep. Lost the evasive and lost just a tiny bit of unit defense. So I'm okay with that at this point. Dwalin, I believe I actually gained a star on his scale mail, but I'm going to go ahead and refine this one more time. Just to give me a little bit more hit points on him. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'm going to use nope. I'm going to use this Fortitude of the Undead. Okay. Now this is something I want to talk about is Fortitude real quick. Let me do I have a regular Fortitude? Here's the regular Fortitude. Physical damage received by the commander's formation minus 5% for a 2-piece set. Now if you go to one of these, let's say Fortitude of the, like there's undead, there's the dwarves, elves, whatever. When the commander's formation is comprised of undead, so that means for this one I would have to have undead on Dwalin. Damage received minus 5%. So the difference is this is damage received, which is all damage, where Fortitude only does 5% physical damage. So I think the Fortitude of the whatever race it may be are kind of undervalued because they are a little bit rarer. I don't think people fully understand that this is all damage instead of just physical damage. So that is something to think about when you are building gear. Although it does stick you with a certain race. So it's not really worth doing unless you have a lot of gear. But ultimately, I would never use undead units. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to go back into and hammer that Night Star so that I can keep that um, harp, the gold harp. So not only did Gandalf gain a couple focus, yes, he lost the evasive. Yes, he lost a couple command. Well, he gained focus, and because of that, he's also going to help my damage dealer out. Because, oh, I need to go to King of Aragon and unequip. And because of Gandalf doing that, I am able to strengthen my Palantir. Ooh, not that one. The Palantir. So Aragon is going to have extra commander attack. So those are things to think about, like who benefits from what, if you're moving stuff around. So it's not that much of a difference. Like I said, Dwalin, I'm getting a little extra damage. I'm getting plus 5% from the might set instead of the evasive, which again, I'm going to be using Swan Knights if I'm using Frodo or if I'm using Boromir. Generally, I use Frodo, and these two switch gear a lot. But right now, I'm running Eagles, which I am trying to test out with a big sample size. He having Boromir in there as the support with the evade and the extra attack from Horn of Gondor. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So, overall, I'm happy. I got some small, slight improvements on my gear. And that's all I was looking to do at this stage. So, I hope this sheds some light on a couple things of what you're looking for when you're trying to improve the gear. Um, Again, you're only making set effects if it's the right gear. So, for here, for instance, I could put this on there, but does it do anything for me? No, it doesn't give me command, which I need. Because it's for the tank, he needs high command and he needs high unit defense. Well, yes, the full helm gives a couple unit defense, but look at the difference between the two. Let me pull up this one. Okay. This full helm is 3 stars and it only gives me 4 unit defense. This horseman's helm is 3 stars and it gives me 12 unit defense. See the difference? So, like I said, you're only making the set effects if it's the right item for the person. Couple general notes I'm going to make. As you are progressing through the seasons, you will get more and more gear. Unless you are a whale, you are going to be using a lot of purple gear. Gold gear doesn't come that often. But there are some items that you want to make multiple set effects of. You want to hold on to. Okay, for instance, Battle Axe is great, is the best damage dealer, that best purple weapon for a damage dealer. So, yes, I need to refine them, but after I get this to a respectable level, I want to start keeping a stock of them. Let me do it this way so it's easier. I want to start keeping a few of them so that I can make different set effects. That way I can use them on multiple armies if I need to, or if I want to, if I get a gold item, um, say I got a Palantir with might. Okay, then I have this might. I can put that on Dwalin, and then I'm good to go. I have that matching set effect. Cutlass is another one that you want to have multiple set effects. That goes on tanks. That goes on a lot of different supports as well because it gives high command and high unit defense. Next, let's go to the head. Okay, I'm sure you guys have probably already guessed it. The Horseman's Helm is one that is good to have multiple set effects of. Because again, that's going to go on all your tanks. That's going to go on a lot of support commanders. Some people, even at the lower levels, are using them for their damage dealer. I don't recommend because you want the commander attack. So if you have the option of the full helm, which is the other helmet I recommend getting multiple set effects of, use that on your damage dealer, not the horseman's helm. But if you're lacking a full helm, go ahead and use the horseman's helm. Now next, we are going to go to armor. So for purple, I bet you guessed where I'm going. Scale mail is the best for damage dealers. You're going to want that in multiple set effects. As you can see, I have the two going for my two damage dealers. The other is the Hawbuck is another one that is going to go on your tanks. It's going to go on your supports, depending on what kind of support it is. This is another decent one to have multiple of. Also, the Scout's Mail is another one that maybe you want to, like, because I have Might and Perseverance in the Scale Mail, maybe I want to make an evasive of the Scout's Mail. That way I have something that's still a decent purple armor, but it's in a different set effect. In case I get, say, an Axe of Khazad-dûm with the evasive. I don't have that in Scale Mail, but hey, I have that in Scout's Mail. Okay, accessory. Accessory, you have the Drums of Moria. Again, it's the purple item with the most command, the most unit defense. The Bone Talisman, because commander damage only comes on gold accessories, Bone Talisman is the go-to purple item for damage dealers because it gives the most commander attack. So unless you have a couple Palantirs, a couple Drums of Barad-dûr, it might not be a bad idea to make a couple different sets of the Bone Talisman. So with that, I've told you the items that I use that I will never put on my commanders that I will automatically use for strengthening. Here I talked about the ones you want to consider maybe starting to collect to have different set effects so that you can match them up. Because again, you're only making the set effects if it's the right gear. Again, I improved my gear slightly. I drew back a little bit on one area, but because I did that with Gandalf, I gained focus on Gandalf. I gained extra commander attack on Boromir because I was able to strengthen Palantir. And then also Dwalin, I changed the evasive set effect to a might to give me that. And again, the only reason I did that was because I had the extra seasonal hammers. As you can see, I still have 3, and 2 of the ones I just did just because I had the seasonal hammers. The permanent hammers are more important. The more seasons you have in, the more items you're going to want to change at the end of season or every couple seasons. So it's all right with the seasonal, but be very, very cautious with your permanent ones. So that's my video for today. Sorry it ran a little long. I hope it explains some of my techniques when looking at gear. If you need help with gear, feel free to reach out to me. I am taking today off. So if you need help, message me on Discord. Don't ask me if I will help you. I will help you. So message me on Discord. Say, hi, I need help with my formation or I need help with my gear. Send me screenshots of your commanders. Send me screenshots of your entire equipment bag. And what I mean by that is from here down to the bottom of your unused purple. That's what I need. Then I need this page because this page will have worn items, worn equipment items, and then it will also show me how many hammers you have, seasonal or permanent. If you have a lot of gold gear, also you can send me what's inside the gold gear. Do this absolutely last though. So what you do is you click on the item, you click on the ability, and the ability of the weapon is right under the title. Commander Damage. If you click on that, it brings up this tab. And this is the materials that are inside of that. Take a screenshot of this. Okay? And then that way I can possibly, maybe it's just changing a set effect needs to be done, or there is an item inside of one piece that you want. Just like I was talking about right down here, this silver harp that I want to save for later, for the long term. Okay, one thing I just saw is I have a Matic that I won't use, so I'm going to strengthen Gandalf's Dawn. See, it gives me an extra point of focus and an extra point of unit defense, which that works. So that's all I need is some screenshots. Yes, it can amount to quite a few screenshots, but hey, I'm helping you. I need all the information to be able to be thorough and help you the right way. I will be doing videos on my Big Al account when that season is over. That countdown has already started, so I have that as well. And if any of you would like me to do a video inside of your account, I can do that as well. Just message me on Discord, ALEXKLLY34. Okay? There you go. All the information is also inside of the descriptions. So, as always, make the most out of what you got.